We hear it all the time, right? AI is coming for our jobs. But is that really the whole story? Today, we're going to cut through the hype and look at what the actual research from Microsoft's Future of Work team is telling us. This is the big one, isn't it? The question that's on everybody's mind, and it's fueling a million different headlines. It sounds like a simple yes or no question, but as we're about to see, the answer is way more complicated than that.
You see, the story that the data tells is so much more nuanced and, honestly, a lot more interesting than just robots are taking over. So let's dive into what the people actually studying this stuff have to say.
First things first, we have to tackle the biggest myth head-on. The research we're looking at isn't really about which jobs are going to be displaced. It's about something they call applicability. And trust me, that one word changes everything.
And look, this is a huge point, and it comes straight from the researchers themselves. They're basically putting up a big warning sign saying, hey, we're showing you where AI can be applied. Please don't misinterpret this as a list of jobs that are going to disappear. That was never the point. So what is AI applicability? Well, think of it less like a threat score and more like a helpfulness score. It's all about identifying where AI could be a really useful assistant for certain tasks, not whether your entire job is on the chopping block.
Okay, so this chart right here, it lays it all out for us. It maps out different jobs based on how useful AI could be for the kinds of tasks they involve. The more you go towards that top right corner, the more applicable AI is as a tool.
So which jobs have the most AI tools available? It's the knowledge-based jobs, the ones that are heavy on communication, writing, and sorting through information. Now, your first instinct might be to look at this list and think, oh, that's the hit list, right? But the researchers are arguing the exact opposite. These are the areas where AI is poised to be the most helpful partner.
And here's why that distinction is so critical. A job description might list out tasks like write reports or analyze data, but what it can't capture is the human judgment, the context, the ethics that are required to do that job well. A job is not just a checklist of tasks you can find in a database.
So, okay, if this whole story isn't about mass replacement, what is AI actually doing to our work? Well, the research points to this really important difference between two ideas, automation and augmentation.
The difference sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Automation? That's when the machine just takes over a task completely. But augmentation? That's when the machine becomes your co-pilot, a powerful assistant helping you get more done, better, and faster.
And check out this diagram from the research, because it makes this point so clear. See those little circles in the middle? That's the stuff that machines could or maybe should just automate. But that huge blue space around it, that represents all the new possibilities, the new tasks that we can tackle with the help of AI. Augmentation is where the real action is.
You know, Steve Jobs famously called the computer a bicycle for the mind, a tool that just amplifies what our brains can already do. This research is basically telling us to think about AI in the exact same way. It's a tool to make us faster, smarter, and way more creative.
But it's not all sunshine and roses. This optimistic view of augmentation is really important, but it's not the entire story. While the data shows that mass job loss isn't the immediate threat, it also reveals some very real and pretty challenging shifts that are happening right now in the job market.
And this, right here, is the reality check. The big picture about augmentation is positive, for sure. But when you start to zoom in on the details, some pretty concerning trends pop up that we absolutely cannot afford to ignore. Take a look at this chart. It reveals a growing divide. See that blue line? In companies that adopt AI, hiring for senior roles actually goes up. But look at the red line. That's the junior, entry-level roles. It's trending down, and that drop gets especially steep after 2023. To put a hard number on that, one study found that for jobs that are highly exposed to AI, employment for young workers, we're talking 22 to 25 years old, fell by about 13%. That is a huge drop for people who are just trying to get their careers started. So what's really going on here? Well, it suggests that AI might be automating the on-ramp to a career. Think about it. Those foundational, sometimes boring tasks are exactly how you learn the ropes, how you build the skills and judgment to become a senior expert. If AI takes over that training ground, how does the next generation ever get the experience to rise up? So where does all this leave us? This massive shift doesn't mean that human work is becoming obsolete. What it means is that the very definition of valuable human work is changing right in front of us.
The better AI gets at handling all the routine, predictable, data-crunching parts of a job, the more it forces us to focus on what's left. And what's left is everything that makes us uniquely human.
This quote from the research just nails it. The most valuable professional skill in the world is no longer just being able to execute a task. It's the ability to exercise judgment, seeing the big picture, making a call when things are ambiguous, applying ethics. These are the things that AI just can't do. So if you're thinking about how to future-proof your career, this is your new list of power skills. It's not just about what you know how to do. It's about your ability to think strategically, to innovate, to connect with other people, and to make those tough judgment calls when the data can't give you a clear answer. These are the skills that AI helps, but can never, ever replace. And that really brings us to the final, most important question. This whole thing isn't really about humans versus machines. It's about how we, as humans, armed with these incredible new tools, are going to redefine what work even is. So the question isn't, will an AI take your job? It's, what new value will you create with your new partner?